It's the Women's Information Network. It's the win.
Okay, so if you have a fear of having money, what do they want from me? I'm not good enough, responsible. They're going to like my money, not me. You may have a fear of not having money. Judging yourself for not having enough, or being enough, or showing up enough. And it limits you. Does that make sense? Okay. So, Robert, my friend, again, says, we spend money to avoid pain. We use money to soothe our fears. What happens when you're feeling bad? What do you go do? Shop. Eat. Drink. Have sex. Oh. Who said have sex? Brad, take a note. So, yeah, well, we'll use our money to soothe our fears sometimes. If we're in pain, we're going to go buy something or do something to make us feel better. So, avoiding money is as negative as being attached to it. Have you ever been attached to money? Yeah. Has to be a certain way? Yeah? Okay, so if you avoid it, it's just as negative. If you're avoiding it, you're saying, hey, you've got power over me. Does that make sense? No? No, I didn't get it. So if you say, if I'm avoiding money, like I don't need it, I don't need any more, avoiding it, you're basically saying it has power over me because something's going to happen when I get more money, that there's something that's going to, I'm resisting it for some reason. And whatever you resist persists, right? So when you're avoiding something, you're absolutely giving power to it by avoiding it. In other words, if you say to yourself, I want to be rich, but I hate being poor. So you can't create prosperity from a place of being poor or hating being poor or hating not where you, if you hate where you're at right now, it's hard to create from that space, yes? Okay. And it's avoidance. Does that help? Okay. Okay. So I know we don't use the word failure in this place, but if we are afraid to fail, then we already have. And I know that we don't like to use the word failure, but losers avoid failure. You may say, what does that mean, Burge? Thank you. Well, if you're afraid to fail, then you could be avoiding success. Think about athletes. I think Rita talked about that too, about athletes. What do? They fail, they fail, they fail, they fail, they fail, they win. Buckminster Fuller said the worst mistake you can make is not making enough mistakes. Because what are you doing when you make a mistake? You're learning. So we call these learning experiences. So failures can turn losers or learners into winners. So we play a lot of games in our workshops because we play games like we play our life. Okay? And so we talk about there's a winning team and a learning team. We have learnings all through the week and we give you permission. Yes, you made a mistake. Yay! That means you're learning. And when I do free previews, and I had a little girl come in one day, and she was 3 years old. She goes, Mommy, I had a learning experience. I had a learning experience. No judgment, no shame, because we're teaching our kids differently now. So she had a learning experience, and it was out of. I just taught a workshop last weekend in where was I? Fort Lauderdale. Okay. I just taught them, it was 6-year-olds to 12-year-olds, and the things that would come out of their mouths. And I had them portray their parents. And I had their parents come and watch. And we work through these communication techniques and this trusting each other so we can communicate better. Okay? But they're fearless. And tomorrow I'm going to lead you in a breakthrough experience. Some of you may have fear. But remember this, false evidence appearing real. Just go through it. You have nothing to lose but your failure. Okay? So, if you avoid failure, you avoid success. The only failure is the failure to participate. You can take this out into the world, say, just do it. So, excuse me. If you are thinking that you are not participating in the world, or you haven't made it yet, as long as you're participating, you're successful. So we do this in the workshop. The only failure is the failure to participate. Take this out there. Just do it. Just do it. Because you can't fail as long as you're doing. How many of us millionaires have gone bankrupt? Yeah. Why? Right. So we're not afraid to play. So go out and play. Now, you ready? Okay, write this down. You're going to participate. I want you to think about a time in your life when you were the happiest you've ever been. And I want you to write the date down, the year. Write down the year and what it was. The happiest you'd ever been. Pardon? The year. Just write a year. Write down the year.
And the day or just the year?
If you remember the day, great. If just some close to it, close to the year. Write down your most emotional piece. And now, write down an emotional lowlight in your life. When you were the saddest, the most low emotionally. And write that date. Think about, when was I the most unhappy in my life so far? And then write the date. Everybody got one? Okay. Now I'll write, keep it up. When in your life have you made the most money? Write that date down. When in your life have you made the most money you've ever made up until now?
It's the win.